All right, so I'm gonna take the time and tell you guys how I eat. So first off, I I'm just repeating this so that people who don't know me, I don't eat meat and don't eat dairy stuff. I'm plant-based. I'm vegan. So no eggs, no chicken, no steak, no. You get the point, right? So I'll explain to you what I eat for lunch. So it's pretty simple. I eat rice. I eat rice. I eat jasmine rice right here. This is dry rice. And I eat black beans, specifically black beans, black beans. Now, I usually eat 2 cups of wet rice and 1 cup of wet black beans. I also eat this, and hang on, I actually do eat tofu, and I forgot to bring that out. Okay, so I fucked up. I realized that I don't have the block of tofu in my fridge. Now, I ate lunch Chipotle because of the work that I do. It's something that I have to do. Sometimes I eat that in order to get the macros, but I'll just explain this to you. So, right here, these are soybeans. This is basically tofu. It's just that tofu is basically fermented soybeans. So what I do is that majority of the times, I don't do this all the time, but majority of the times when I can, I put these soybeans in just a bowl, and then I put water over it. So let's say that the soybeans are up to here, the water can be filled up to here, because as time passes on, hours, 12 hours, these soybeans are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, just like beans do. Once that happens, I grab those beans and I take the water out, and then I wet them again. So I put the water filled up, like what I did the first time. Then I wait for, let's say, another 12 hours or so. I take out the water out, and from there, I put those soybeans into a blender with water again. And what it does is that it basically creates soy milk. From that process, I then grab that liquid from the blender, and I pour the liquid into a cheesecloth. So if you search up a cheesecloth, that's what I put it into. The reason why I do that is because just like milk with converting into cheese, wetting soybeans takes out a lot of the fiber out. So it extracts the fiber out of it, and the liquid that's pouring out of it is the liquid that we need in order to convert it to tofu. Once you squeeze all the liquid out of the fiber, the flour, it sort of looks like flour to me, into a non-stick big pan, I'm not talking about like I don't know what it's called, a skirt pan. I don't know, but it's a big pan where you boil water. Well, you put all that liquid down there once you squeezed it out. Then, I believe with the flour, you can make some sort of protein with it. To be honest with me, I just throw away the flour because I don't use it. I grab the liquid, I put it into that pan, and I let it boil. After a minute of boiling, so I'm not talking about boiling point. After I put the heat up, I immediately grab, it depends on how much tofu you make, but and I'm giving you a general consensus. Like this doesn't affect primarily the amount of protein. It's just a particular way of making tofu. I just found it on YouTube. In fact, I'll even share the YouTube link down in the description on how I learned to make tofu. It's from a different person. But you grab, I think, like 6 lemons. You squeeze them onto the pan, and what it does is that the chemical reaction between the protein in the soy milk, we could say, extracts the pure protein out of it. So what's left out, that's when you see it, you start to see separation. It looks like cheese being separated out of the liquid. And as time passes on, all the liquid that was in, a lot of the liquid that was in the pan shrinks out and is converted into a, well, as you see, a tofu, like a cheese, but it looks more, it doesn't look like a block at that point. It just looks concentrated, like in a circle. And the key there is that once you concentrate it to a certain level, you want to pour the liquid out and leave out that concentrated material and put it into a tofu maker. So it's like a block, it's like a container block where you pour that concentrated soy, we could say, and you just leave it over the fridge, and you want to squeeze it a bit. Not completely, because it's still mushy and it can break, but just a little bit. Once you do this, your tofu is going to become a bit more firm. I would say the best process for this would be leaving the tofu in the fridge for a day and a half or so, and it makes it very firm. If you want extra firm, leave it 2 days. So yeah, that was a long explanation, but I'll just share the link. I don't do it. I'm not great at doing that, so a lot of the times I just buy it from my supermarket. And in the supermarket, they already make them. They already have them pre-made. They're always in a container, plastic, little box, and it says tofu. I usually always grab the extra tofu, and majority of the times, the tofu that you find in grocery stores have around 7 to 9 grams or 12 grams of protein, depending on the brand. And usually, under the nutritional facts, it says all the different carbs and fat and protein, but you need to read what it says based on pieces. So a lot of the times, like my tofu, it says, let's say, 9 grams of protein for every fifth of the block. So the block is about, let's say, this big. If you cut it in half, every fifth is a ninth. So double the fifth. A fifth would be 20%. So double fifth would be 40%. Yeah. So, okay, so I take around just a little bit more than double a fifth, which would mean half of the block. Just to keep it simple, and to be honest, I'm not super, how do you say it? Like, I'm not super specific on exactly what measurements I have to cut the block, because I don't, that's just not me. I don't, I'm too simple. So what I usually do is I get the block, I cut it in half, and I take that. So my lunch, just to come back to it, that's what we were explaining. My lunch is 2 cups of rice, 1 cup of black beans, and half a block of tofu. And I also have that with half of an avocado. Yeah. With that lunch meal, I also eat on the side 2 Sakil breads. I usually grab the orange one. I forget what it's called, but it's like an orange one. It's 2 Sakil breads, and I put about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. I grab about just banana slices. It could be a full banana slice. I also put up around 1 tablespoon of chia seeds or flax seeds, and then I pour honey in it to be sweet. So that's just a way how I can take my proteins in extra as a side, and then my lunch is something that gives me a balanced carb and protein. And I just repeat on the dinner. For lunch, if I do the specifics, because I do the meal preps, the specifics are for rice. For dinner, it's about exactly 2 cups. But for lunch, it's around 1.5 cups. And then for the morning, the reason why I started for lunch is because that's more something I have to explain. But for the morning, I always take this. So this is my protein powder. It's from the brand Vega. I just take it because it's plant-based. It doesn't contain any whey or dairy products into it, but it contains not a lot of vegan protein powders have this, but this is why I always choose this brand. This is not a sponsorship. I wish it was. I wish I had this type of protein delivered to me, but I don't yet. But I've been consuming this since I started. It's 30 grams of protein, and it has 5 grams of the BCAAs. Perfect. and it doesn't have any added sugar. If you want to know specifically, it's this one, Vega Premium Sport Protein. As long as you find one that has 30 grams of protein, you're good. It has 170 calories, and yeah, just like all the protein powders, low fat, low carbs, high protein. That's for my protein. What I do is I take a protein shake. I used to just do a very simple 1 banana slice and 1 cup of oats, dried oats, with 1/4 of a cup of walnuts, and then 1 tablespoon of flaxseed oil. But now, because I got tired of that, because that flavor is way too basic, I usually grab around a cup of blueberries, frozen blueberries, with 1 full banana, and then I put all the others. Like I put 1 cup of oats, I put walnuts, and I place flaxseed oil with 1 entire scoop of this protein powder. And that usually gives me around 750 to 800 calories. Yeah, pretty good. And it's more than 30 grams, adding that whole entire thing. Good carbs too, because you're adding 1 cup of oats. Apart from that, that's for my morning. For my dinner, I explained it. For my dinner, I just kind of repeat what I did for lunch. Only that my side meal with the dinner would be another protein shake, but in that one's around the same as my morning. It's around another cup of oats, a banana, the 1 scoop of protein powder, and the walnuts as well, and then flaxseed oil. So you see, like my meals are extremely simple. Like I know that I had to explain a lot, mostly when it had to do with the tofu part, just because a lot of people don't know what that is. But that's what I consume. I do want to change this around a bit because I am getting very tired of taking my shakes with walnuts. It kind of just, I don't know, it doesn't taste amazing. So I'm going to try to find a way to work a way around that. But this is what I've been eating since I started the bulk. This similar way, like rice, beans, like that sort of way. A month ago, I told you that I was consuming 3,600 calories. And in that one, I was not consuming tofu. It was literally 2 cups of rice, 2 cups of black beans, and a little bit of mixed greens, and that was it. I ate the same thing for dinner. I gained weight, but then I plateaued because my body got used to it, so I had to readjust and add tofu into it. The thing is, tofu is one of the highest protein sources you can have as a vegan. Tofu is really good, really good. It has a rich source of protein. I mean, let me give you an example. The best tofu block that you could get would be from Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has the highest protein per serving that I've seen on a block. It has around, like the highest is like 14 grams, and it's about 1/4. So the other one that I take is 9 grams. If you multiply that by 5, that's around 45 grams in total if you eat the entire block. The Trader Joe's one, 1/4 is around 14. If you take an entire block of that, 14 times 2 is around 28. Multiply that by 2, that's around 56 grams. There you go. So the other one is, this one is the highest is 56, and the other one is like 40 something. I don't remember. Yeah. So it's just these little things. I've been vegan for almost 5 years, and I already know a lot about this stuff. And I used to eat different things, but because I'm bulking, and it's sort of, I'm doing a clean bulk, so I am in a way dieting it down to just simple parts. Because the thing with me, and this is going to happen to you, maybe eating black beans is heavy for your digestive system, right? Maybe you get very bloated eating beans. However, you need to keep this in mind. I used to eat 2 cups of these, and I didn't get bloated. Now, how is that? Well, it's because I let them, I put them underwater for a while, which people don't do. You have to leave the beans under the water so that it can remove the shell effectively. But most importantly, after wetting it, the same process as the soybeans is to put it in a pressure cooker. If you don't pressure cook these, they're gonna be hard for your stomach, which is why people get gassy with beans, but that's not the case. If you put these in a pressure cooker and you season it well, not fantastically, not like a Cuban ridiculous seasoning, because the thing is that if you put a lot of seasoning to your food, it's going to be harder for your body to digest it, meaning your protein synthesis is going to be slower, so your gains are going to be affected. So just keep it simple, and that's going down to specifics, but I think that that's kind of facts. Like if you can't put extremely amount of flavor to it unless if you put spices, but I don't like that because it makes it harder for your digestive system to take it in. So the way how I season these is by putting salt, pepper, paprika, salt, pepper, cumin, thyme, and just a piece of bell pepper, like a green bell pepper. Put that into it. You have a pretty good flavor of beans there. And I know a lot of people that don't know how to make beans well, and I'm pretty sure that if you do it like that, that's probably going to be like the best black beans you've made. Yeah. Another tip too is, now this is like, now for a little bit more flavor, you could add like a tablespoon of brown sugar into it, and a tiny bit of baking powder. But other than those, that's how my seasoning is for the black beans. For tofu, so this is very important, when you have your block of tofu and you're gonna cook it, I do it in 2 ways that I like to eat it. Sometimes if I'm in a particular set mood in that day, I just grab half of the block and I cut it to pieces, to like tiny blocks, and I put it in the pan to fry. So I don't fry it with oil, but I grill it, and I have to flip the side. Like if it was, I don't even know what to call that. I guess like a grilled cheese, but it doesn't melt. I don't know what that is, but you just, once one side is tanned, you just flip it over and it tans it. And yeah, you got yourself doing it that way gives you a better firm texture. If you want like something firm and textury, just eat it like that. But because I've been vegan for years, I don't really care much about that. I'm very simple, and I want to just eat and get it done with. So I tend to just grab half of the block and I mush it to pieces. Like if it was eggs, I just mush it to pieces. I put it in the grill. I mix it around a bit. After a few minutes, I mix it around again. And once it's all been tanned, I just eat it with the rest of my meal. Yeah, I'm very simple. And so yeah, chickpeas are the same. These are chickpeas. You could really look down to specifics. Hell, even you can ask ChatGPT. I've done that a lot with my dieting because there's not a lot of resources online. But you could try chickpeas instead of black beans and see how it goes for you. Chickpeas are a really good source of protein too. I mean, if you look at this, yeah, here it is. Every 1/4 cup of dry chickpeas carries 7 grams of protein. That's pretty good. In the black beans, I think it's around the same. In the black beans, it's every 1/4 of these dry black beans carries, 10 grams. So it's like 3 grams more. But you can compensate, right? Maybe you don't want to eat the black beans, so you just take an extra amount of the chickpeas. So instead of maybe taking the 1/4, you could take about 1/3, to compensate with a protein difference. But yeah, and aside from this, these are my supplements. Not from me, but just the supplements I take. So my creatine is this. I take creatine monohydrate. I don't take anything out of the, like, crazy, but I take it from GNC Pro. I like this one in particular because it doesn't carry any additives like sugar or caffeine. It's literally just pure creatine. If I open this, it's look, it's completely white powder. So, oh shit. Oh my god. I'm in a mess. Good thing I did this outside. I just spilled creatine on the soybeans. Okay. So that's creatine. Now, amino acids. Not a lot of people know about this, but these are good for you. Some people take these and they criticize them because they say that they don't complement a lot of their muscle gains. And I'm not going to argue too much with that, about that, because these don't give you a huge amount of gains, in my opinion, compared to this, right? Scientifically, it's supposed to be said that this gives you more than that, but for me, I think this one is better. But the reason why I take these is because, I don't know if you guys know, but my older sister has been in my back days and leg days. She's my older one, and she got rhabdo a few weeks ago. One of the ways that she could have prevented that was by taking amino acids, consuming a lot of water, and other stuff too regarding towards caffeine. But one of the doctors, the doctors that told her about what she could prevent the next time would be that she needs to take amino acids. So I take these. They're called Triquetra plant amino acids. I like them because they carry majority of all the amino acids, and that's very important. There's even protein powders that carry BCAAs, which are part of amino acids, but they don't carry the whole branches of amino acids. If you have several branches of amino acids, but you don't have the entire one, you can't completely utilize the protein you're taking, because those proteins, those different amino acids need each other to build an entire one. So these carry a total of 18 amino acids per pill. I take about, the daily suggestion doses are about, not doses, but tablets are 6 tablets. Every time I'm going to the gym, I take these before going, just to get into my system. And once I'm in there, you guys see me drinking water. I have the water completely filled up and have 1 scoop of this creatine. Now what I do, and I'll show it in a bit, is I bought a few days ago electrolytes and magnesium tablets, because I need to be consuming that since I'm constantly training back and forth. Yeah, I'll show you guys. All right, so we got the extra supplements here. So I'm taking these now. I can't give you, I'm just showing you this because of what I'm doing right now. I don't have a lot of, let's say, opinions about these because I just started taking them like 3 days ago. But from what I've heard from other people, they're good. This brand is good, this brand is good, this brand is good. Like, they're all high reputable brands. This one in particular, this one functions as a pre-workout and intra-workout drink, meaning that before I'm going to the gym, I just grab, 1 packet of these, get my water, put it in there completely. I mix it around with my creatine, and I just drink it when I work out. Once I'm done working out, I immediately have another drink that has this one. Now, the reason why I have 2 different electrolytes is because this one carries more potassium and sodium, which is needed when you're working out, in the amount of intensity that I'm doing it with. If you're putting a lot of intensity and you're training seriously, like a bodybuilder, this is essential because this carries more potassium and magnesium. In a way to balance it out, since I'm out of the gym and I need some sort of hydration, I have these electrolytes. These electrolytes carry less magnesium and sodium compared to this one, because having too much of that is bad for your health. It can kind of counteract from what you're trying to do. So I have two different ones. I never mix them around. This one is for working out. This one's for after, so I can hydrate myself and recover well. This one is specific. I take these like an hour before I go to sleep, and it basically relaxes the muscles. It says right here, muscle relaxation and sleep support. It's high absorption magnesium, lisinoate, glycinate. Just take 2 of those, and that's what I've been doing. It's mostly to help muscle recovery when you're sleeping, and when you're sleeping, that's when your muscle fully recovers. So just to help a bit with that, I take these. And so, yeah. Again, I'm taking 3,800 calories per day with about 170 grams of protein, 420 grams of carbs, and 100 grams of fat. With that being said, it's funny because I have a business revolving around landscaping, and because it's so intense, it's gonna be in a few days. Texas is hot as fuck, and my calorie depletion is gonna be insane. I did the research, and it's likely that my calories are gonna be burned 2,000 to 2,500 calories doing my landscaping business. So because of that, I'm not gonna likely be eating this sort of portions in a few days. Not because it's not been effective, but because of my particular work, I'm burning so many calories, like so many calories. It's like I'm doing cardio. But I'm bulking. I don't want to lose so much body fat, and I want to retain my muscle. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to consume 5,500 calories. Yep, I know. 5,000, that's a lot. That's a lot, but not really, not really if you're starving. Starving the mentality, but also starving, actually, because of all this stuff, you can get very tired. But yeah, that's what I'll be doing. And I am curious because of my work, like if by the time if I cut, I'll likely be at 4,400, but none of that stuff is guaranteed. And so yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bit of a different meal plan because I'm going to be intaking a lot more protein, a lot more carbs, majority of it more carbs, in order to keep my energy levels high so that it doesn't utilize the protein in my muscle. I do not want my body to touch that whatsoever. I want it to stay there. I want my body to use the carbs to do my work. So that's the other thing. If you work in construction or some of that stuff, do the research, because if you're a person that works in sales, like has a normal job and you don't have to do so much labor, then you can be eating like this and get big, right? Because your body is not in a high calorie depletion because of what you do for work, right? But if you do have a high depletion of work, then you have to take much more calories in order to maintain yourself with more mass so that your body doesn't utilize the protein in your muscle to have energy in order to work more and to sleep and do basic functions. Like, fuck that. Just take more carbs. That's what you gotta do. But yeah, that's the sum of it. It's gonna be intense, yeah. I was thinking that even though what's happening with 5,500 calories is what I'm consuming now, I'm not saying that I'm consuming 5,500 calories, but I just mean that the maintenance level that I'm going to have it has just risen astronomically than what it was before, because I'm burning so many freaking calories for what I'll do for work that I have to intake more calories to offset all that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting what my body's going to look like in September because of this change a bit in diet. We are ending the bulk by August 20th, but I am curious how my body will look like in the next few months. We'll see. It'll probably increase more in weight because it's not like I'm every single day doing 12 hours of hard labor. Like, no, sometimes it's mixed around, but majority of the times, yes. So I think we'll likely increase weight a lot, which is, I'm all down for that. We're bulking. That's what we want, right? We want to build mass. But yeah, that's it for this video about my nutrition and my bulk. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll make another video in the future when I'm going to cut, what I'm going to be eating there. I don't even know what that's going to look like. I'm going to have to research that when I get to the cut, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be hugely different because, again, when you're cutting, it's not like it's not like you're peaking at your bulk and then you immediately cut and you steep down. Like, no, because if you do that, you'll crash out. That's not what you want to do. You want to gradually decrease. If you're taking two cups of rice, 2 weeks, drop it to one cup and a half. Another 2 weeks, I'm not saying that you should do this, but I'm just giving this as an example. Another 2 weeks, do a cup of rice. Drop the, I don't know, like do half a cup of beans, like that sort of stuff. Although, based on just my intuition, I haven't done research on this, but by my intuition, I'm pretty sure if you're cutting, you still want to maintain your protein good. Your protein levels good in order so that your body doesn't lose muscle. Your muscles need protein. So if you're on a cut, obviously your body needs some sort of energy to work on your cut because you don't have much energy. You're on a deficit. So I'm pretty sure in order to offset that, you do want to take protein. Lots of it. But that's just my intuition. Research it. So I don't know exactly. But yeah, that's it for this video. Well, that was that. I wanted to show you guys what I eat. And yeah, we'll look forward to that. I'm very interested in what I'm gonna look like in the next few weeks eating a lot of those calories. So I'll see you guys later. Jeez, this is a bunch of creatine here. The creatine just fell on the flowers. Those flowers are gonna get big now. Those flowers are gonna get a pump.